everybody. You guys know me on Harry James. The Oklahoma Sooner men enter their Thanksgiving Day break with a tournament with the Battle for Atlantis. We will preview the Battle for Atlantis, this year's version, in alphabetical order right now, which starts in the A zone with the Arizona Wildcats. Last year, 27-9 overall, 15-5 in Pac-12 play. They lost in the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament to Clemson, 77-72. Their head coach, Tommy Lloyd, at Whitman University, graduated from there in 1998. And Coach Tommy is in his 4th year with Arizona. The Wildcats are 2-2 this year with 4 games being played. Scoring leaders, number 4, Jaden Bradley, and 5, KJ Lewis. 0, Jaden Bradley averages 15.5 points per ball game, 2.5 boards, 2.8 assists, playing in all 4 games for Arizona. While KJ Lewis averages 12.3 points per ball game, 4.3 boards, 1.8 assists, again playing in all 4 games. The Davidson Wildcats, 15-17, 5-13 in Atlantic 10 play. Their best win last year was over Atlantic 10 rival Duquesne at Duquesne, 72-59. Their head coach, Matt McKillop, is a 2006 grad from Davidson University and is in his 2nd season with his alma mater. Helping them get to that far is pretty tough, but replacing a legend is always tough. But start off 4-0, you're doing pretty good, and that's what Davidson's doing with their new coach, McKillop, with number 1, Reed Bailey leading the way, and number 2, Bobby Durkin leading the way. Scoring, by the way. 1, Reed Bailey averages 19.0 points per ball game, 7.8 rebounds, 3.0 assists, playing in all 4 games for the Davidson for Wildcats. While the Wildcats also have number 2, Bobby Durkin, averages 16.8 points per ball game, 4.3 rebounds, 2.3 assists, playing in all 4 games. While replacing a legend is always difficult, for Gonzaga, it's going to be difficult when this guy retires. But until he does, they still have Mark Few in charge of the Gonzaga Bulldogs. 27-8 last year, 14-2 in the in the West Coast Conference. They went all the way to the Sweet 16 last year, where they lost to Purdue 80-68. Their head coach, of course, we talked about that, Mark Few, out of Oregon, 1987 grad, and is in his 27th year with Gonzaga. Trying to make it another NCAA tournament will not be easy, but it gets easier with players like 13 Graham Ike and Kahith Patel. Graham Ike first, averaging 14.6 points per ball game, 6.2 boards, and 1.2 assists per ball game in 5 games. And 99, Khalif Patel averages points, 14.4 points per ball game, 4.4 boards, and 1.4 assists in 5 games. Next, the Indiana Hoosiers. 19-14. Big Ten play at last year, 10-10. Their best win last year was a 74-70 shocker over Wisconsin in the regular season, in a home game, by the way, for Indiana. Their head coach, Mike Woodson, is an Indiana grad from 1980 and is in his 4th year with Indiana. The Hoosiers have 2 leading scorers leading the way. The 2 main leading scorers off to this 4-0 start would be Mackenzie Magagbu and Miles Rice. Magagbu averages 18.8 points per ball game, 6.5 rebounds, 1.8 assists, playing in all 4 games. Flipping it, Miles Rice averages 14.8 points per ball game, 3.5 boards, 4.5 assists in all 4 games. Next up on the alphabetical list, Louisville. Louisville, 8-24, 3-17 in AAC play. Lost to Florida's. Their best win last year was a regular season home Cardinal win over the Florida State Seminoles, 101-92. Their head coach, Pat Kelsey, is a 1998 grad from the Xavier University, and is in his 1st year with Louisville. Leading scorers for Louisville, averaging the top 2 scorers for Louisville average 14.8 points per ball game, 3.8 rebounds, 1.0 assists, and also the second leading scorer averages 12.8 points per ball game, 6.5 rebounds, and 2.3 assists per ball game for Louisville. Finally, we get to our Oklahoma Sooners. 12-20, 20-12 last year, 8-10 in the Big 12 Conference. Remember, they were in the Big 12 last year. Their best win last year was a 71-63 win over Iowa State at Oklahoma. Their head coach, Porter Moser, is a 1990 grad from Creighton University and is in his 4th year with OU. 4-0 start for the Sooners this year, including great games thus far by Jalen Moore and Jeremiah Fears. Jalen Moore averages 18.8 points per ball game, 6.3 boards, 1.0 assists in 4 games. While Jeremiah Fears also averages second on the team, by the way, 15.5 points per ball game, 3.5 boards, 4.0 assists in 4 games. We're getting there, guys. 2 more teams. After O is a P for Providence. This is the one for sure game Oklahoma will have against the Providence Flyers out of the Big East. Speaking of the Providence Flyers, here's their preview. 21-14. Again, 10-10, dead even in Big East play. Their best win, or they did go to the NIT last year, where they lost in the first round to Boston College, 62-57. Their head coach, Cam English, is a Missouri grad from 2012 and is in his 1st season with Providence. Providence is off to a 3-2 start, including players like Jeremiah Besley, Joseph, and Jaden Peary. Besley Joseph averages 11.8 points per ball game, 3.0 boards, 4.0 assists in 5 games. While Jordan Peer averages 10.6 points per ball game, 3.0 boards, 2.4 assists, again, 5 games. The final game that we preview this time around for the Battle for Atlantis, the West Virginia Mountaineers. 9-23 overall, 4-14 in Big 12 last year. They did beat Kansas at West Virginia 71-63. Their head coach, Darren DeVries, is a 1998 grad from Northern Iowa and is in his 1st year with WVU. Leading scorers for the 4-0 3-1 West Virginia Mountaineers, Javon Small and Tucker DeVries, the coach's son. First, Javon Small averages 15.5 points per ball game, 3.3 rebounds, 4.0 assists in 4 games. Tucker DeVries averages 13.5 points per ball game, 4.8 rebounds, and 2.0 assists in 4 games. All right, guys, that will wrap this thing up and ship it You guys know me, I'm Harry James. You can catch us on all my other videos on Facebook, Harry James Taylor, Twitter, The Hype Man Harry, or on my Patreon, Harry Taylor. All right, guys, thanks for watching it. Boomer Sooner, everybody. I'm out of here. Peace!